What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And today we are going over the 10 most inappropriate Simpsons episodes that ever aired. Number 10, Blame It on Lisa. The episode followed the family as they visit Brazil. Lisa goes in search of a missing orphan she had been sponsoring, and Homer gets kidnapped. The episode caused a massive amount of controversy in Brazil. Many felt the episode relied heavily on stereotypes, cliches, and inaccuracies. For example, this series depicts the dances, the conga and the macarena, as being popular in Brazil. However, neither dance originated in Brazil and neither is frequently performed there. The tourist board of Brazil was planning on suing Fox for damaging the image of the city. They felt the city was portrayed as being rat-infested with crime, slums, and kidnappings. They had the support of the Brazilian government. However, because of the First Amendment in the United States, it would have been very difficult to sue them. The series issued an apology and there was no lawsuit. Number 9, Homer's Phobia. It revolved around Homer's distancing himself from a new friend, John, after Homer finds out he's gay. Homer is also worried about John's influence on Bart, so Homer takes Bart hunting to ensure his masculinity. The episode was highly praised and considered one of the show's best episodes. It was praised for dealing with misconceptions of homosexuality and still maintaining the series' sense of humor. It was the first time the series dealt with these themes. Initially, the censors deemed the episode unsuitable to air. They gave the writers 2 pages of notes and each line of the script had been crossed out. Luckily, not too long after, a new president was appointed at Fox, as well as new censors. The new censors approved the episode as acceptable with no changes to the original script. Number 8, Two Bad Neighbors. It focused on the feud between the Simpsons and the Bush family. In the early years of the series, the Simpsons had a real-life fight with the Bush family. The controversy started on January 27, 1992, when then-President George H.W. Bush said, "We need to make more families like the Waltons and less like the Simpsons." The Waltons was a series from the 70s that revolved around a wholesome, loving family living and struggling during the Great Depression. The writers would respond to the following week to George Sr.'s comments when Bart says, "Hey, we're like the Waltons. We're praying for an end to the Depression too." Years later, the feud was the inspiration for the episode Two Bad Neighbors. Former President George Sr. and Barbara Bush move in across the street from The Simpsons. Homer and Bart start a vicious prank war with George Sr. after he spanks Bart. Eventually, Homer and George get into a fist fight, which leads to the Bushes leaving. It's considered one of the best episodes, although fist fighting with the President of the United States is highly inappropriate. Number 7, Money Bart. This episode revolved around Lisa becoming the coach of Bart's Little League baseball team. She uses her smarts to help the team win. The episode gained widespread media attention for its controversial couch gag. The opening sequence and gag was written by political activist and graffiti artist Banksy. When the Simpsons all gather on the couch, the camera zooms out and shows a picture of the family on a wall of an animation and merchandise sweatshop in South Korea. The scene is dark, depressing, and bleak. It depicts a large group of animators working in poor conditions. They are shown to be frail, weak, and unhealthy. The scene was inspired by the fact that the show is animated in South Korea. Nelson Shin felt the episode was excessive and offending. He was able to get some of the darker and more inappropriate jokes cut from the episode. Number 6, Homer vs. Dignity. It was considered by many Simpsons fans as one of the worst Simpsons episodes to ever air. Homer vs. Dignity has been criticized for its recycling of previous plot lines, but lack of fresh material wasn't the main controversy surrounding the episode. That honor went to its infamous panda rape scene. After asking his boss for a raise, Homer gets hired as Mr. Burns' prank monkey for extra cash. Mr. Burns was playing him to play pranks on others and humiliate himself in public. As the prank monkey, Homer dresses up as a panda bear and sneaks into the Springfield Zoo, where an uncharacteristically enormous real male panda takes a shining to him and drags him off to his lair to what was assumed to be sexual assault. Why? Nobody really knows but the writers, and it definitely offended quite a few fans. The end of the episode has Lisa convincing Homer that his dignity is more important than money. Number 5, Sunday Cruddy Sunday. The episode was a Super Bowl theme showing Homer and his friends attending a free bus ride to the Super Bowl. It was aired after the Super Bowl in 1999 with millions of viewers watching. A scene in Sunday Cruddy Sunday showed a mock Super Bowl advertisement featuring 3 scantily clad young ladies. One of them had a crucifix necklace dangling provocatively in her cleavage. It was accompanied by a voiceover saying, "The Catholic Church, we've made a few changes." This scene was bound to ruffle a few religious feathers, but the backlash was worse than expected. After a flood of complaints, literally hundreds of letters sent to Fox, the network bowed to pressure and removed all references to Catholicism in the scene, changing the line to simply, "The church, we made some changes," thereby mocking all Western religions rather than just one. Number 4, Homer's Enemy. Although many fans actually quite liked the episode and Matt Groening himself has ranked it amongst his favorite episodes, many others felt its dark tone and content was far from The Simpsons' usual episodes. Despite Homer's best attempts to get on his good side, New Springfield nuclear power plant employee Frank Grimes is disgusted by his incompetence and happy-go-lucky outlook. Driven increasingly mad by Homer's seemingly effortless life, Frank goes mental and, while imitating his behavior, ends up fatally electrocuting himself. Denounced by some critics as painful to watch but praised by others, Homer's Enemy is one of The Simpsons' most divisive episodes to date. Number 3, Bart vs. Australia. The premise of the show was a collect call trying to establish which way water drains. Down under lands Bart in big trouble. Indicted for fraud by the Australian government, the Simpsons head for Australia to clear Bart's name. The Australian government wants to give him an additional punishment, which is a kick to the butt with a giant boots. He refuses and ends up mooning everyone. In their short stay there, they managed to mock local culture so much that Fox reportedly received over 100 letters from angry Australians protesting the episodes. Not only did viewers down under feel that the accents in the episode were more South African than Australian, references like invasive amphibians and baby-eating dingoes were probably a sore point for many. For most Australians, this was the episode that was most offending and inappropriate. Number 2, A Streetcar Named Marge. The episode revolved around Marge being cast as Blanche DuBois in the Tennessee Williams play A Streetcar Named Desire. The episode caused controversy because of an original song written about New Orleans. In the song, New Orleans is described as a home of pirates, drunks, and whores. The people in New Orleans were greatly offended and Fox received over 100 complaints. The writer, Jeff Martin, had written the song as a parody. The following week, the writers apologized in a chalkboard gag when Bart writes, "I will not defame New Orleans." And number 1, Something About Marrying. It revolved around Springfield legalizing same-sex marriages in an attempt to increase tourism. Marge's sister, Patty, comes out as a lesbian, which Marge does not initially support. Homer becomes a minister and begins conducting same-sex weddings. The episode was written at a time when same-sex marriage was a hot topic. Some conservative groups were heavily critical of the episode, with many of them feeling it was promoting same-sex marriages. The writers have defended themselves, noting that the episode actually covers both sides of the arguments. In fact, the writers explore the many different opinions on the issue through all the characters. Some are for it, while some are against it, and some are just there to make money. And that is it for the video, guys. As always, thanks for watching. We hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later.